Once the youngest self-made billionaire ever at age 23, Mark Zuckerberg was worth $142 billion in September 2021, making him the third richest person on Earth. Zuckerberg is now the 13th richest man, as his Facebook stock went totally crashing down. Meta was among the top 5 most valuable companies in the United States in 2021. However, their position has since dropped to below number 20, and they are now worth less than Samsung, Coca-Cola, and even Home Depot. So, what's happening to Zuckerberg and Meta? It all started on the 2nd of February 2022, when Meta stock started its downfall. That day, Facebook lost $230 billion in value in less than 24 hours. This is the largest one-day value drop in stock market history. This fall took place because that day, Facebook published a report. The 26.4 wipeout in Meta comes amid concerns about its future, after the company reported its first ever drop in daily user numbers. Meta also reported a rare decline in profits due to a sharp increase in expenses as it invests in the metaverse. Despite the problems the metaverse is facing, it's another facet of Zuckerberg that we discovered during these difficult times. Horizon Worlds, the project of Meta on which Zuckerberg has already spent around $10 billion, was a complete failure. Meta initially aimed to reach 500,000 monthly active users in Horizon Worlds by the end of the year. But the current figure is less than 200,000, according to the Wall Street Journal. Zuckerberg's investment in the company has pushed Meta to report a further decline in revenue in the 4 quarters of 2022. It's such a disaster that even Meta employees who are encouraged to use it don't even use the Horizon Worlds. Despite all these red flags, Zuckerberg still decided to continue. He refuses to stop the project. Because of Zuckerberg's stubbornness on this project, Meta was forced to fire 11,000 employees, which represents 13% of their workforce. The willingness to implement the metaverse comes from Zuckerberg's clash with Apple. When Apple allowed its users to stop being tracked by applications, it put a stop to Facebook's revenue. Because Facebook was targeting consumers based on their data, Facebook lost more than $10 billion, blaming Apple and its new feature protecting the privacy of consumers. It's Zuckerberg's biggest nightmare that came true. The loss of total control over what was happening around him. Zuckerberg has always wanted power, control, and total domination over others, even if it means using anti-competitive methods to ensure that he would achieve his goals. These are particular personality traits of Zuckerberg that we have seen over the years, when he decided to act the Connect You competitor in order to weaken them, and he also took advantage of it to steal their ideas. The interesting part is that at the time, Connect You was not even a threat to Facebook. As explained in the article by Insider, the Facebook.com was so popular that one thing Mark probably never needed to worry about was competition from other social networks launched at Harvard in 2004. Connect You, whose founders have accused him of stealing their ideas. Connect You's founders Cameron Winklevoss, Tyler Winklevoss, and Divya Narendra had launched the site that spring at 15 schools, but it never gained anywhere close to the critical mass of user adoption that Facebook did. Nevertheless, during 2004, Mark Zuckerberg still appeared to be obsessed with Connect You. Specifically, he appears to have hacked into Connect You's site. Mark at that time was already using illegal and anti-competitive tactics. Next, Mark appeared to have logged into the accounts of some Connect You users and changed their privacy settings to invisible. The idea here was apparently to make it harder for people to find friends on Connect You, thus reducing its utility. Eventually, Mark appears to have gone a step further, deactivating about 20 Connect You accounts entirely. Connect You filed a lawsuit in 2004, and it all ended in a $65 million settlement in 2008. This agreement did not dissuade Zuckerberg to stop using these methods. He even became more obsessed with his competitors. So he bought Instagram in 2012 for $1 billion. A shocking sum at the time when the company had only 13 employees. The US House Antitrust Subcommittee has made public the email exchanges between Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and former Chief Financial Officer David Ebersman, revealing that the company wanted to buy Instagram to avoid competition, as it could have hurt the social media. Facebook, by its own admission, saw Instagram as a threat that could potentially siphon business away from Facebook. So rather than compete with it, Facebook bought it. This is exactly the type of anti-competitive acquisition the antitrust laws were designed to prevent. After these experiences, it's clear that Zuckerberg does not want to play in a market with a healthy competition, but rather he wants to control everything to avoid getting stabbed in the back like Apple did, making him lose billions of dollars. That's why he is so obsessed with the metaverse. He wants a universe where he will be the absolute master and would control everything. However, his will to control everything will be made difficult by what he fears the most: the competitors. Despite the domination of Facebook in the world, Zuckerberg is facing two major problems. First, the world population. Facebook has 2.95 billion users in the world, for a total population of about 8 billion. It remains 8 minus 3, so 5 billion potential users. Except that we must deduct at least 1.4 billion Chinese inhabitants, since Facebook is banned in China, as well as in other countries like Russia, Uganda or Iran. It remains about 3 billion potential users, except that another problem will drastically reduce this number. In an article of the New York Times titled, "Is there a ceiling on the internet users?" we learned that more than 4 in 10 people in the world, which works to more than 3 billion people, do not use the internet at home or on their phone, according to the most recently available estimates from the World Bank and the United Nations from 2019. So Facebook has a base of 3 billion users among the 8 billion humans, except that there is pretty much nothing left among the last 5 billion potential users. Between the countries that have banned Facebook like China, we must therefore remove about 2 billion people and also the people who do not have internet, so we remove about 3 billion people. We can conclude that there is simply no more room for growth for Facebook. The second major problem is the increasing competition, as young people use less and less Facebook and prefer other social networks. Between 2017 and 2019, there is a slight increase in the use of Facebook among the older group, a stagnation among the middle-aged group, and a significant loss of 17% among young people. On an even more recent Pew survey on youth, the numbers for Zuckerberg and his company are simply terrifying. We learned that there were 71% of young people using Facebook in 2015, and they are only 32% in 2022. When we look at the graph, we realize that Zuckerberg's nightmare is coming true. He is losing more and more control over the population to new competitors, but he is still holding on to his position thanks to his aggressive takeover of Instagram, which has gone from 52% of users in 2015 to 62% of users among young people. With the setbacks that it takes from the competitors, Zuckerberg begins to panic, and he decides to literally copy TikTok, which has the effect of pissing off most Instagram users. Why does Instagram keep trying to be TikTok? Why has Instagram changed? The app looks different, and users hate it. After a backlash from Instagram users and some celebrities including Kylie Jenner writing on a post, "Make Instagram again. Stop trying to be TikTok. I just want to see cute photos of my friends." Zuckerberg has now started to backtrack. Instagram is undoing TikTok-like changes you hated so much. Instagram is reconsidering its pivot to a TikTok-style video feed after recent changes proved to be highly unpopular with its fanbase. Now that Instagram and especially Facebook are losing their value to young people in favor of TikTok, it's only a matter of time before TikTok and ByteDance completely takes over Meta. Despite his attempt to get the upper hand back with his metaverse, it has been a bitter failure for the moment, and neither the young people nor his employees are interested in the metaverse. After all, Mark could lose to what he fears so much: competition.